Ultra-processed foods have become nearly unavoidable in the lives of modern teenagers. Between busy schedules, late-night study sessions, constant advertising, and social eating culture, packaged snacks, fast food, sugary drinks, and ready-to-eat meals often replace freshly prepared food. Yet new research is revealing a disturbing connection. Teenagers who consume the highest amounts of ultra-processed foods report significantly higher levels of stress, emotional instability, and poorer sleep quality. These findings point to a cycle that may be far more dangerous than many realize, one in which ultra-processed diets may actively worsen stress and sleep problems, while stress and sleep deprivation increase cravings for the same unhealthy foods, creating a self-reinforcing loop that is extremely difficult to escape. Teenage years are already a vulnerable developmental period marked by hormonal changes, academic pressure, social difficulties, and emotional volatility. When the body is under stress, it releases cortisol, a hormone that increases cravings for quick energy sources, particularly foods high in sugar, salt, and refined fats. Ultra-processed foods are engineered to deliver fast pleasure and immediate energy spikes, providing a temporary sense of relief. But the effects are fleeting. These foods cause rapid surges and crashes in blood glucose that leave teens feeling tired, irritable, and mentally scattered. As energy drops and mood declines, the brain seeks another fast reward, driving repeated consumption and increasing dependence. The metabolic consequences only worsen the spiral. Diets high in ultra-processed foods disrupt the regulation of appetite hormones such as ghrelin and leptin, making it harder for teens to recognize hunger and fullness cues. At the same time, elevated cortisol amplifies appetite, encouraging emotional or stress-driven eating even when the body does not need more fuel. Over time, this may lead to increased insulin resistance, fat accumulation, and chronic inflammation, physical conditions strongly linked to fatigue, poor stress tolerance, and depressive symptoms. Many teens trapped in this cycle believe they lack willpower, when in reality their biology is being manipulated by foods designed to override self-control. Sleep quality is another casualty of high UPF consumption. The blood sugar fluctuations triggered by ultra-processed meals can interrupt natural circadian rhythms, causing difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. Artificial sweeteners, caffeine-heavy beverages, and chemical additives frequently found in UPFs may further disrupt sleep-related hormones, such as melatonin. Late-night snacking, a common behavior in teens overwhelmed by school, devices, and irregular schedules, creates digestive strain and nighttime metabolic activation that impair deep sleep stages needed for recovery and emotional balance. Researchers have found that teens who eat high UPF diets are significantly more likely to experience insomnia, restless sleep, daytime exhaustion, and reliance on stimulants like energy drinks to function, starting yet another cycle of imbalance. Meanwhile, stress and poor sleep themselves increase cravings for ultra-processed foods by weakening decision-making regions of the brain, especially the prefrontal cortex, which is still developing in adolescence. This makes it difficult to resist highly rewarding foods even with full awareness of their consequences. As reward circuitry becomes conditioned to depend on engineered flavors rather than natural foods, the brain gradually becomes less responsive to normal pleasures. Teenagers may lose interest in balanced meals, physical activity, or hobbies that once provided emotional relief, turning instead to food as an escape from discomfort. This pattern resembles addictive behavior, with real neurological evidence supporting the similarity. The long-term consequences could follow teens into adulthood. Chronic stress combined with disrupted metabolic regulation dramatically increases the risk of anxiety disorders, depression, obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and sleep disorders later in life. The earlier these cycles establish themselves, the harder they are to reverse. Many adults who struggle with weight or emotional eating trace their patterns back to adolescence, yet few recognize how strongly the environment shaped their biology rather than personal failure or lack of discipline. Compounding the problem is the reality that most teens have limited control over their food environment. School cafeterias, convenience stores, vending machines, sports concessions, and fast food chains saturate daily life with UPFs. Marketing targets young people aggressively. Bright packaging, social media influencers, sponsorship of youth events, and psychological strategies create emotional associations with comfort and belonging. For families with limited income or time, the cheapest and most accessible foods are often the most harmful. The warnings from health researchers are serious. Ultra-processed foods may be contributing to a silent mental health crisis among young people. The connection between food, stress, and sleep is not superficial. It is deeply biological, and once regulatory systems are compromised, recovery becomes an uphill battle. Teens are facing a storm of metabolic confusion, emotional exhaustion, and environmental pressure that may shape their health trajectory for decades. Reducing dependence on ultra-processed foods is not a simple matter of personal choice. It requires awareness, restructuring of food environments, and recognition that convenience may be costing teens their resilience, their rest, and their well-being. If society continues to normalize a diet designed around engineered stimulation rather than nourishment, we may be watching an entire generation lose control of systems meant to protect them, one snack at a time.